Yeah, and I don't know where I come down on this next story as far as AI goes. Like I said, it's really fascinating. I don't know.
Ooh, boy.
I mean, I'm not for fraud, but I don't know. This is fun. And finally, in 1980s news, as reported by the New York Times, the bands and the fans were fake. The $10 million was real.
Yeah.
Wow.
Michael Smith, 52-year-old, who, look, as a member of our generation, this guy really knows how to use AI really well.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Damn. He's been accused in an unsealed federal indictment of stealing royalty payments from digital streaming platforms for 7 years. And my first thought was, good, because there's a lot of legitimate artists who are not getting nothing. We're finding out they're just not paying, the BMI or ASCAP or whatever. Or what they do get paid anyway is still a pittance. And these artists have to be on the road constantly to make any damn money.
Right.
It's just not cool. Anyway.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
But, I don't know, maybe this has gone too far. Smith had initially uploaded music he wrote himself to the platforms, but after determining that that's too much goddamn work, shit. End quote. No.
Quote.
After determining that his catalog was too small to produce any spoils, he teamed up with the robots. He joined forces with the chief executive of an AI music company and a music promoter, neither of whom, by the way, are named in this indictment. So someone must be talking. Smith created a staggering catalog of bogus songs, uploading thousands to streaming platforms each week. According to prosecutors, the compositions would arrive to Smith with file names that appear to be just dozens of randomly generated characters. And then Smith would generate plausible names for the songs and their artists. And quite honestly, with the types of the names of songs and bands these days, I don't know that I would spot any of these. Zygopterus, Zygopteron. This sounds like a series. Zygopteros, Zygosporic, and so on and so forth.
I mean, they're words almost. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and he also he gave the artists, the band's names were things like Callous Post, Calorie Screams, Calvinistic Dust. All right, there's a website generating band names.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
Right. Generate 3,000 band names, please.
Yeah. Anyway, and then next, after he created
Okay, well, I'm going to stop you here. I'm going to stop you here because I have a hypothesis.
Okay.
Oh.
Up to this point,
Uh-huh.
he might be okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Making the songs, putting the
Right.
songs out there. I think maybe up to there, and I know you can't copyright AI generated stuff, so maybe there's some gray area in there, but it was the most genius part he did next that got him in the most hot water.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Had he produced AI generated songs, and look, he's going for quantity, not quality. But if maybe he upped the quality enough or was clever enough to
Be
get
popular.
organic listens, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hit on something.
Yeah.
If people enjoy it, they're getting value out of it, they pay for it. What's the harm?
Yeah. But he didn't do that. He knew the songs were garbage. So instead, he created as many as 10,000 fake streaming accounts using email addresses he had purchased online. Then he created software to stream his music on loops from different computers, giving the appearance of individual listeners tuning in from different places.
Wow.
Yeah. And the bands that I mentioned that the songs that he uploaded were top performers on Amazon Music, Apple Music, and Spotify, according to the charges.
So he's both the producer and the consumer.
Yes.
And it's the mechanism between those two that's then paying him off.
Yeah.
Because no one's getting value out of these. He's just getting paid for them. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm understanding this better now that, where I'm listening and talking. When I read it, I was like, huh?
What'd he do? Yeah.
I didn't. What? Where's the money coming from? Who?
Right.
But I get it.
It'd be like if we set up accounts to download this podcast
Yeah.
from multiple computers under multiple logins to boost our numbers.
Right.
Right. But we don't get paid for that right now.
Yeah,
but if we
right.
did,
Yeah.
that would be fraudulent, right? There were not
Yes.
actually real people. They were just Irish scripts that were actually doing the downloads. And
Right.
that would be fraudulent if you're
Fraudulent
especially
pennies.
if you're making money for it, especially if you're getting money, get paid. Yeah.
Yep.
BFG is a song name here that he's suggesting. Zygo Pixen said she is. I don't know how to say that.
There we go. The band name?
Could be
Anyway,
either.
According to a statement from Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Smith, quote, stole millions in royalties that should have been paid to musicians, songwriters, and other rights holders whose songs were legitimately streamed, end quote.
I don't know about that.
Huh.
How did him getting paid stop others from getting paid?
Right. Because he was the only one listening.
Mm-hmm.
He,
Listening to, it's not like he was stopping anyone from listening to legitimate artists.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. There's not a finite pot.
Right. It's not a percentage. Mm-hmm.
In theory, through ad revenue and subscriptions, they generate money. I guess it is finite. They generate money that's paid out to people who. But you're right. Everybody might be owed. We might be in the red because we just have to pay out more than we have. Right. That's our problem.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Commercial success in the industry is increasingly measured in digital listens, despite the, like we mentioned, despite the paltry compensation that streaming companies offer artists who rely more on appearances. I already said all this. All right. Anyway, according to a financial breakdown that Smith emailed himself in 2017. All right, genius criminal, right?
Oh my God.
He sent himself a report.
Yes, apparently.
He's like, I understand why criminals tell the hero what their plan in every movie. Mm-hmm. I have that impulse, but I have no friends. I'm going to send an email to myself.
But before I kill you, Mr. Bond.
Wait, I'm going to kill me? So according to this breakdown that he emailed himself in 2017, which is the year, according to prosecutors, that he began this scheme, Smith calculated that he could stream his songs 661,440 times a day. And at that rate, he estimated he could bring in daily royalty payments of $3,300 and as much as $1.2 million a year. And by June of 2019, Smith was earning about $110,000 each month, which he was splitting up, giving a portion to his co-conspirators, of course. But he, in spite of that, in 2019, he said he had reached, in another email, this guy's got to shut up. In another email in February of this year, he bragged that he had reached 4 billion streams and $12 million since 2019.
Wow.
So here's a puzzler. Now hearing you say all this in context.
Yeah.
He was making AI songs in 2017?
Oh, wait a second. Yeah.
Surely not.
Right. Yeah, so what?
He may have been making garbage songs in 2017, but I mean, AI wasn't doing it, right?
Yeah, and maybe it's not AI, certainly in the sense that we think of it as. Yeah, maybe there was a computer program where you could generate.
Right, maybe it's just a series of bleeps and blips, like it's it's electronica or something. But AI wasn't making make me a pop song that sounds like blah blah blah, like you can now, like Sonos, whatever that thing is called.
Yeah, I have a clip of one of the garbage songs here.
Ooh.
Listen to this.
Okay.
Sucks. It's terrible. Anybody who wrote this song, terrible.
You!
It's got to be.
You
What is it?
are such a turkey.
You're a fan of that garbage music?
It's a Duran Duran song.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I don't have one of their songs. I have a different person's shit music.
Who would pay for that?
Exactly.
Oh man.
You were going to say something, Kat,
Kat.
before I interrupted you.
was, and then you totally threw me off there. I was going to say, I thought that part of what I couldn't wrap my head around, which maybe I don't need to, is I thought the issue was the AI part and him, pulling from other people's music to create songs and that there were copyright issues. But I guess that's not happening here necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. That's not the issue. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just the streaming.
Like I said, I think up until he started making bots to consume it, he might have had some wiggle room in there. But when he started generating false listens and getting paid for it, that's when people lose their sense of humor about that sort of thing.
Yeah. Huh.
Prosecutors said that Smith flatly lied to musical distribution companies. In October 2018, one company informed Smith that it had received, quote, multiple reports of streaming abuse. End quote. Now, who are they getting reports from? It has to be internal, right? We would have no way of knowing.
Right.
Unless somebody dropped a dime on them, which maybe by the co-conspirators not being named in the indictment might explain that. But what would their motivation be, except that the walls were closing in on them?
My hypothesis really is that I'm sure that streamers are constantly working very hard to verify duplicate accounts so they don't have to double pay artists. So in that endeavor, they very well could have exposed like, wow, I mean, these are the same IP, but they're awfully close. And maybe, they got to be trying to find ways to save money. And perhaps he got caught in that net, maybe. That was my suspicion.
Yeah. Smith, the charges said, responded to the company with a strongly worded denial saying, quote, "That's crazy. That's absolutely wrong and crazy. There's absolutely no fraud going on whatsoever." End quote.
Strongly worded.
And only emails had emotional content, right? But he did say those words, or write those words. So, it's all funny until you see what charges you're faced with, because he could get, because he's up on wire fraud and money laundering charges. And if convicted, he faces a maximum of 20 years in prison.
Whoa.
For each charge.
Wow.
And each charge would be, each song it'd have to be, right?
Yeah.
Everything's a violation. It's not, I murdered 5 people, we'll just call it one. It's,
I feel like I do have a problem with him getting so much jail time for something, that's not a murder. Let's save the big jail time for people who are
it's
unsafe.
Millions of dollars, Kat.
But it is a lot of money. Yeah.
It is the maximum, is the 20 years, but
Okay.
Right. And he's already 50-something, so he's not going to turn. He's going to serve maybe 30 tops if he gets convicted.
Yeah.
Why? Because he signed that clause that said we can use his likeness after he dies for all of his films.
Oh, there should be a film about this.
Ooh.
Marcus says, if I wrote something to get 5,000 streams, wrote a software, to get 5,000 streams listening to Purple Rain in a loop, who gets paid and what law was broken?
Huh.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I guess the thing for me is I automatically thought it's got to be terms of your agreement as a subscriber or as in his instance, as a creator.
Yeah.
Right? So you sign up, you got to sign something, we always just check it as if we read it. But somewhere in there probably says, no bullshit. You can't fake things. And
you can't go stream your own music to get paid, probably says in there, right?
Yeah, and even if it didn't, it would still be a crime, I suppose, because, you don't need a specific contract to say what fraud is. And so if you trick somebody to paying you for something that wasn't really, let's say, purchased or, earned, that's fraud.
Yeah, that does sound like a good definition for fraud. Yeah.
I mean, Marcus raises a good point, because it's like, so if he listens to it 5,000, now Marcus, I think 5,000 streams from one person, I don't know how they work it out, but I bet you they don't count them as 5,000.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure they have software I was referring to before, so that if you stream it a whole bunch of times from your computer, they're like, well, it's the same dude. Right. He didn't sit awake for 7 days listening to this song. We know that something is fishy. Right. And that's probably how this guy got caught in the first place. Round the clock streaming from,
It's got to be something like that.
Well, he was kind of brilliant and stupid at the same time.
It was smart. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He should have asked first. Hey, I'm just wondering.
Asking for a friend.
Right. Asking for my friend Marcus, who loves Purple Rain.